Rich Eisen and Cris Collinsworth. What to expect from the Saints and Chargers this season. We're only going to talk about the Saints. Don't care about the Chargers. No offense, of course. So we're going to hear what Cris Collinsworth, one of my favorites, what he has to say about the Houdads.
An NFC team we're not talking about enough, Chris. Who are we not?
NFC team we're not thinking about.
Correct.
Saints.
I'm going to say the Saints, because I do think that they're going to be a really good-looking team on the defensive side. I mean, I can remember watching them going against Tom Brady and exactly, what all they were able.
Okay, Chris, you're killing me. Chris, get a cup of coffee. The Saints now, I think, so we've been obviously talking about the Saints a lot over the last couple of weeks. I think now the rest of the world is catching up to it. I think the rest of the world, I've heard so much Saints hype from non-Saints people in the last couple of weeks. I've heard Saints are the surprise team. I've heard Saints are the sleeper pick for the NFC Championship game. I've heard the Saints are going to be, the most improved team, whatever. People are wising up. A couple months ago, people were all in this hype of Bryce Young, or they were all hyped up on the Falcons with Bijan Robinson and the whatever. And it shows that the Saints have been in the back, are out of the conversation for the last couple of years. No doubt about it. Since Drew Brees has been gone with the Jameis Winston, Trevor Siemian, Andy Dalton debacle, of course, no one's going to think about the Saints. But as I've said before, the Saints roster is still full. Mickey Loomis has done a great job. I'll give him this. And I love Mickey Loomis. Y'all know I'm a big fan of Mickey. He's done a great job of keeping the good players. Very rarely do you see a team hold on to their good core players as long as the Saints have. And I'm talking about the Cam Jordans, the Demario Davises, even the Michael Thomas. Through injury, through whatever, they don't offload. They're pretty good about holding on to those guys. Alvin Kamara. A lot of other teams would have said, you know what, we're cutting bait. Not the Saints. When you have a roster as talented as the Saints are, and then now you have Derek Carr, there is a lot of reason to think the Saints can be crazy improved in every single facet of the game. Alvin Kamara had a terrible year last year. No doubt about it. He has the talent, he has the capability to be really, really good when he's on the field. Michael Thomas has been hurt. If he's on the field, he has the capability to be really, really good. Cam Jordan, Demario Davis, Tyrann Mathieu. We know how good that Marshawn Lattimore. Those are guys that can be Pro Bowl level, top elite S-tier level at their position. Chris Olave, Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara, Derek Carr. Same thing. When you really look at it, and I think that's the big difference for me in the division, is that if you look at Atlanta, it's like Desmond Ridder, Kyle Pitts, Bijan Robinson, Drake London. No one knows what these guys can do. We're assuming they can be good, but we don't know that. We don't know that they can be good. We don't know that Bijan Robinson can be good. Okay? Bottom line, look, I hate to break it to you, but just because you're good in college doesn't mean you're going to be good, especially as a running back. How many great running backs have we seen get taken in the top 5 picks, and then they're just average, they're mediocre, they're whatever in the NFL? He could be great, but we don't know. Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Desmond Ridder, who the hell knows? You go to Carolina, it's the exact same thing. They're putting a whole lot of pressure on Bryce Young being good. Is there a chance a 5'10", 170-pound quarterback could be bad? Yeah, there is. There certainly is. With the Saints, at least you know you've got guys who have been good in the NFL. Alvin Kamara has been good. Derek Carr has been good. Michael Thomas has been good. Chris Olave has been good. Demario Davis has been good. Marshawn Lattimore has been good. Cam Jordan has been good. Tyrann Mathieu has been good. What if all those guys are good again? Not out of the question. I would much rather bank on those guys being good than a bunch of these unknown people for Atlanta and Carolina.
Able to do to him on the defense, and then adding Derek Carr and you know, I know Derek Carr really hasn't ever won anything, but he can keep it together. I don't think that Derek is going to crack the code. He's going to know what he's doing. He's going to know how to run Pete Carmichael's offense. He's going to
see, that's where he messed up. Pete Carmichael doesn't have an offense. Pete Carmichael has no scheme, no system, none of that stuff. Derek Carr is going to have to fix Pete Carmichael. Okay. Hopefully Ronald Curry is the one really running the offense. But Derek Carr is another one where he's been good, but people are sleeping on him. He's been good, but people remember him getting benched last year. Now, commenters, every time I say Derek Carr was benched, people start screaming in the comments that it was McDaniels, Derek Carr wasn't, it was McDaniels' ego. Whatever. Fact of the matter is he was benched. There's no other way I can say it. He was benched. Whether he was deservedly benched, whether it was a McDaniels thing, don't care. He was benched. Okay? No other way around it. People will say, well, Derek Carr was benched last year. But Derek Carr was this, Derek Carr was that. Derek Carr has been good in the past. If he can refine it, if he can, if there's some resurgence, if he's quote unquote, from his wife this week, a quote was that he's having fun playing football again. If all that's true, and Derek Carr is the best quarterback we've had in the last 5 years, because Drew Brees at the end was not that great of a quarterback, we got a lot of weapons for Derek Carr to use.
Be able to get it done. And then the defense is going to be hopefully what it has been. So I just think in a lesser division in the NFC South, they could be that team that ended up winning 12 kind of games.
That's my man. My man. I've been saying it. The Saints, if they're good, we will know in about 9 days. If the Saints win that first game, if they look good, if they are dominant against the Titans, I think you can go ahead and assume everything I'm saying will be right. Because if they prove that they're clicking early, and if everything's fixed enough to where they can beat the Titans, who are relatively average to above average team with a great head coach, if the Saints can do that, they're only going to get better. And if they can beat the Titans, they can beat the rest of that schedule, because the schedule is easy. Bottom line. Two best teams we play, Jaguars and Lions, playing both at home. Are they that much better than Tennessee? They're better than Tennessee. But if we can beat Tennessee, we can at least play with those teams. So Collinsworth is right. We can back our way into 12 wins. We can back our way in to 11 wins. You look at that schedule, it's hard to find 6 losses. It's hard to find 5 losses. It's just that easy. So this is a team where if they're good, if the Saints are good, they will win 12, 13 games. You can say they'll lose to the Lions, they'll lose to the Jaguars, they'll lose to the Vikings, and then they'll split 2 division games. That's only 5 losses. All of a sudden now the Saints 12-win team. And we didn't let them win any of the coin flip games. If they're good enough to win some of those games, this could be a team that's going to sneak their way into that 1 seed. It sounds insane. But the way the schedule is, the way the division is, the way the NFC is, the way everything lines up, even playing the good teams at home, even things like that, the way it lines up, if the Saints are good, and we're predicting they are going to be good, if they're good, they're not going to have a choice but to win 11, 12, 13 games.
And getting some home playoff games in that dome, and could scare the Philly, Dallas, San Francisco crowd this year.
And then,
yeah, I mean, look, if I'm right and the Saints do end up as the 1 or the 2 seed or whatever, and all of a sudden then you're playing San Francisco in the dome, you're playing the Eagles in the dome, you're playing whoever in the playoffs in the dome, the road goes through New Orleans. That's another legit huge bonus. You have to factor in the schedule. You have to factor in all that stuff with the Saints. You look at the Eagles schedule, you look at the Saints schedule, it ain't even close. You look at the Niners schedule, you look at the Saints schedule, it ain't even close. There's no reason that a good Saints team can't be the 1 or the 2 seed this year, and there can't be multiple playoff games in New Orleans.
And let's do that for the AFC.
Okay, so that's the NFC talk. Don't care about the Chargers. We're not going to break down the Chargers. Thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments below. What do you think? Can we expect? I mean, it's kind of crazy. I'm not going to lie. Even when I say it, it's kind of like, whew, man, we are really putting ourselves out here. Is it crazy to expect a 1 seed? Is it crazy to expect a 2 seed? What should the expectations be? I'm expecting minimum division winner, 10 wins. That's not that far off from 12 wins. I think if you win 12 games, you're in the conversation for the 1 seed. You're right there. So that's where I'm at now. I mean, we're a week away from the season starting. I'm a week away from being up to my eyeballs in Crown and Sprite in the Superdome. Chicken tenders everywhere, honey mustard all over my hands. We win that game, you're going to hear a lot of me hyped up for the rest of the season. If Derek Carr goes out there and lights it up, not Alvin Kamara, but if Michael Thomas, if Chris Olave, if all those guys are out of control, balling, the defense is everywhere, we smoke the Titans, I might just go ahead and I might be one of those guys with the 2023-24 Saints Super Bowl tattoo. Who the hell knows? Might just get it now. Get a deal on it now. Let me know in the comments below what you think, ladies and gentlemen. Where was I right? Where was I wrong? Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.